Hey, what's up, guys? ZeroX here, and this is going to be another update, second update video to the KSP modded series that will be beginning soon. Um, a friend of mine asked me one day what I was doing on Steam, and told him I was doing a part list, or making my part list for KSP. And he asked me if I was doing the parts myself, or if it was are from mods and stuff. And at the time I was doing it from mods because I remember originally that's what I was going to do. Is I was just going to go through all my mod packs I had and pick the ones I like and put the parts in and stuff. And I realized that nah, that's not cool. um, let's actually create the parts. It's really interesting that he asked that. Let's actually create the part. That sounds pretty cool. And so I did that. I was going to start off with the command pod, and then my command pod ended up turning into an SAS unit, which is this guy right here. This is my advanced SAS from ZeroX Space Industries. This is our advanced one because it's a dual computer for precise control over your rocket. In a 1.25 mm scale, we will have only one computer instead of two, because you don't need that much torque. So that was that one. That's that first one. And then let's see. Then we did the fuel tank for the second stage rocket. This is what's going to be up in space, right here. So this is the rocket that's going to maintain space flight, or not maintain space flight. It's going to be doing all our orbital maneuvers and stuff like that. These are just place textures for right now. I'm going to end up trying to texture it just a little bit better, but I just wanted to get something on there and get an overall idea of how it goes. And I really like the whole center type tank thing. That's why you're going to see a lot of my fuel tanks are going to have that, unless otherwise. And then once I did that, I had to create the engine for it, and this is the ZSI 3200. This rocket engine actually right here is used for vacuum of space, and that's pretty much all it's used for. It doesn't have a very high IP uh, for atmospheric, but it is very good for space flight. And then you can see that my tubings, the main pipeline that's supposed to run across here, still needs a little bit more work. But like I said, these are just the start of it to get it going, to get the general idea, and then fix it and tweak it in a second. So that's that bad boy. And then once I was done with that, I needed to create a decoupler. Now, my decoupler has very crappy texture right now, but that pretty much works. And decouplers are very simple, as you can see, compared to the other thing. Just bloop, blap, that's it. I mean, it looks like it's made out of stone. And it's funny, it's because that's a metal texture, but it looks like it's made out of stone. So, oh well, what can you do, right? And then let's see what else we have. So we have the 3200 I showed you, that one. So there was our decoupler. And then we created a fuel tank for that, for the main stage. This is the main booster stage right here. So this is the still 2.5 meter, just 8 meters tall, is the main stage on this one. As you see, still the same design. I love the orange and black. That's why I did that, orange and black, because I don't know. I love that on a rocket. That looks really cool. And then we needed the engine, and so the engine I decided to call it the ZSI 4200. And as you can see, I just went with default texturing on this one. Um, Plain diffuse colors. So that's just because I just wanted to get it up into space, or start testing it and stuff like that. And so yeah, these are the main rocket engine scale bit here that's supposed to get us up into space and all sorts of other fun stuff. So I'm going to stop the video here and jump into Kerbal and start giving you the stats on what all this does. So I'll see you in KSP. Let's go ahead and start building this thing, right? So as you can see, the attachment nodes, the way they work inside the code, which I'll show you at the end of everything, how the coding works, is wherever your center of origin is in the model is where it's going to go off of from. So 0.0 will put it right in the center of it, and that's pretty much what I did for this one, decouplers. And then after that, it was just a lot of tweaking. So as you can see, taking the other scale, attaching the main center stage to it from there, and then let's see, We need our decoupler in the center, so let's take our 2.5. Oh, nope, we need the engine first. Hi. So we add our secondary stage engine, and we apply that. Now, if you notice, it doesn't do the auto shroud. I don't know why. And then one thing too, I have to create a shroud for this, because if I try to use my center stage fairing, or procedural fairing for this one, even if I do set the base to just a little bit over it and stuff like that, it doesn't actually connect right to this thing. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second once I go and add 4 of these. Boom. See, it's not smooth. So I'm going to create my own fairing base to go with this decoupler, but for now we're just going to leave it like that. So I'm going to position all these together just to make sure. I don't know where that one came from, so I'm just going to make sure that all these are attached into that, like so. Moving on, then we add our main stage rocket engine, which you can see that I still got to fix somewhat of the attachment node on that. I wasn't going to do this video, nor was I going to do a launch this early, but I figured that this was fine. Now, the one thing with my rockets, if you may have caught a glimpse of it, is I really like the Real Solar System mod, but I didn't quite want to make this compatible. So what I did was I put everything to scale the way it would look, and this launcher system altogether weighs 84 tons. Can you believe that? 84 tons altogether is what this rocket main launcher system, and these are going to be called the Orion launcher system, and this is the 2.5 meter version. And like I said, all the textures are placeholders for now. We're going to change that up here in a bit. But that's what that is. That's the 84 tons Orion 2.5 meter. If I come to my engines here, I can give you an idea of what we're looking at. So the second stage has a 400 in vacuum, and it can pretty much pull 62 tons, which is good, because this top vessel here by itself is about roughly around there. So it's got a really good vacuum space there. It's got gimbal on it. It has an alternator to recharge, and doesn't cost anything in electric charge, which is good. So, but it's a mass of 2 tons, just that engine alone. And then the main thruster engine itself weighs 9 tons. But as you can see right there, it's 1500 max thrust. Now, don't be thinking that that's overpowered. That is not overpowered for this lifter, because remember, this whole system without its payload is 84 tons, so I need that power to lift. Altogether, we're looking at about, if I bring up my delta V stats, you can see what I'm talking about here. I'm still running in 1.81 thrust on there, and I'm trying to bring that down to get more of a lesser value, because pretty much what I want this to do is I want this main stage to get us up to 70,000 up to 70,000 meters, and then drop, and then just let this thing coast to the altitude that I want, and then this does all the maneuvering and everything in the vacuum of space. So rather than having this only get us like halfway, and then this takes us the rest of the way, and having to maneuver and do all that, blah, 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 no. I want this to be all atmospheric. Once we hit that point where we're at 70,000 meters, the gases runs out, and we decouple that stage, and then we go. So the Kerbal spent a lot of time researching and developing this, and they came to the ZeroX Space Industries to help us design them a rocket that was big enough to lift their heavy payloads. First off, they're going to be wanting to do communications, and they want us to develop the satellite. Well, our research department, which we hired Bob Kerman in for the research department to come in and help us there, they're starting to design the payload that's going to sit on top of this for communications, and that's getting pretty heavy. So we needed to design a heavy lifter to get that baby up there, and that's where this one comes in. So I will see you guys on the launch pad. I will be changing that flag for the next videos and updates and stuff, especially when we do the payload, where it's going to have ZeroX Space Industries rather than Kerbal Space Program. And yeah, I will see you guys on the launch pad, and we'll get ready to launch this thing and see how it flies. See you then. Alright, welcome back, guys, as we get ready for the Orion's first launch of the 2.5-meter rocket. I hope you guys really enjoy watching this thing go. I think it's really cool to see all the modeling and hard work take off as we, uh, as this thing gets ready to fly. So, anyways, without further ado, let's hand it over to the Kerbals and let them take take over on the launch. Whoa, that wasn't the best of flights, but that's alright though. I talked to Jebediah, told him to calm down, that everything's fine. It just had to be a mishap in the advanced SAS computer program. You know, they all got bugs. It's the first flight. So with that being said, here I just wanted to show you. I have to re-record this because I did not have the microphone recording at the time. So here I'm just going in and changing the torque values on it because I realized that if this is going to be an advanced SAS, it's got to have some premium torque on it. It can't be the same as the other SAS module, otherwise what's the point of using it? So I'm just changing it on there. I don't know if I already skipped it, but towards the top part where you see the node attached bottom and node attached stack top, which I think I might be going to. Yeah, right. Well, no, I guess not. Am I? Yeah, here I am. Okay, so yeah, those. So the bottom, you see it says 0.2. That's based upon origin, and I understand that you don't have to move the freaking mouse all over the place, dude. And then the node stack top is based upon, obviously, like I said, the origin. So if your origin's at 0, 0, you're only going to move it up like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, stuff like that until you get it to attach the way you want. I was just uncommenting the manufacturer to see if that would bring up my ZeroX Space Industry. So, but yeah, like I said though, the first flight was pretty good. It got us up there. We only made it up to about 60,000 or almost close to 60,000 meters, which is not where we want. We want to be in 70,000 meters before the main engine cut off. So I'm gonna have to go back through the rocket engine, which is I think is what I'm doing here, and adjust the key values. Key value 0 is how well your engine is going to consume fuel in the vacuum of space. Key 1 is how well it's going to do at sea level and in atmosphere. Now remember that if you just want to make one that is straight atmospheric and you want to get up to high altitudes, you're going to have to put some key values in key 0 because it's not going to work. Your engine will just end up consuming so much fuel that you'll never make it when you get to that thinner atmosphere. So I'm just adjusting there. Do some more testing and tweaking, excuse me. Do some more testing on it and tweaking the values and stuff to get it to sit right, so that way this engine can launch the way it needs to be. The second episode is just going to be revealing the payload, showing you the satellite. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet as far as a name goes, so if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment, let me know on what to call it. But other than that, though, I hope you guys enjoyed the first launch of the Orion system, 2.5 meter heavy lifter. Next up will be the 1.25. I could record the whole modeling of it and everything if you want to watch that. Just like I said, leave a comment, let me know if you think that would be interesting to see the whole modeling sequence and everything, and see it all come together. Just let me know. And then the next vid will, like I said, have their payload or modeling, depending on which way that goes. And then we'll do another test flight and see if we can get this to rise up to 70,000 meters or not. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Press like and subscribe if you want to see more, and, you know, the whole mumble jumble stuff. And I will see you in the next vid.